for procreating in his, group. Probably has a Latter-day Saints background, I believe, in America. And he ends up, having sexual activities with all the members of church, the younger ones and the older ladies, and having children and all that. He was building his own family. Among that, there wasn't any limits to who he had to sleep with. But in the society, these things are what defilement is wrong. They are not right. And most people are looking at these things and realize that no, they had to be looked into. We have to look at these things, consider them, see where we stand with these writings, whether they are truly from God, from a God, or the God that we look up to. Or somehow they are one of the archaeological findings. Just like we find gold or oil, or have found any other thing we found. And that time people were spiritually inspired, and they were leading their life, and they had their inspiration. If we were to found today the Ten Commandments, maybe it will be one evidence of something, true writings of God. Because according to the Bible, God wrote the Ten Commandments with his own hands, with his own pen and paper. He wrote his Ten Commandments, his own devised paper from the rocks. He wrote the Ten Commandments. If we have that we know that this is from God. We hold him to it. That God, this is your writing. You said that. Why did this happen, or why is this happening? And then he's the only one that can give us answers to it and tell us why things like that happen. And he's the one who's going to tell us, you can't question me, or you can. But even that, we will have doubts about him. If he cannot give us answers, because it is approved for everyone who make claim of every faith to have an answer to whatever he claimed to believe. If you believe, this is written in the Bible as well, if you believe in anything, or you try to present anything, or you say you are Christian or Muslim or whatever, you must give an account as to whatever you claim to believe. You must give an answer to whatever you claim to believe. If you cannot do that, if you fail in that regard, your claim is futile, your claim is wrong, your claim is deceptive, your claim can be deemed as a lie and not truthful. And that is what God is. That is a challenge to sort of prove that God is God. God alone can give answer to everything, because he is there from the beginning. He did everything. He has answers to everything. There isn't any question you answer that he won't have. He won't be able to answer. Just like it's being presented with Jesus Christ. According to the story, Joshua gave answers to everybody. The Jewish story and the Christian story that he has. I think the Muslim as well, that he has answers to everything that you ask him. He was accurate in everything he said. And such a thing he was using at that time to prove his divinity or his faith at that time. Now, if you can do that, how do you prove your faith? That is one thing, that you should have an answer to whatever. So if you claim Christianity and you read the books, or you have it anywhere, and you hide your way out and take advantage of the state of what the religion is or what the religion might give you, then you have to watch carefully and say it to yourself and realize that you are phony, you are fake, you're not real. Now, in certain cases like mine, it's not because I am funny or fake or whatever, but I neither go out there to make claim, because what is there to use to make that claim? As I said, the Ten Commandments is the only handwriting of God, and you can't find it anywhere. As I have altered it out, I'm sure somebody can devise some rock and write something on and say, we've discovered, as long as we've discovered the Ten Commandments, and use it to sort of make some sort of build some sightseeing place where people will go in and watch and make money out of it. And that can be the case. I'm sure that I'm making real sense of the tricks of life. that leads to the traps that we find ourselves into. We are all being trapped one way or the other, religiously and culturally. I live my life with culture there. I drop it. I'm not seriously, possessed with culture, and I will not let myself be possessed with culture, nor the upbringing of a parent or of my parents, any of my parents or uncles or whoever, or religious. Religion, I may be religious at that time. I'm not religious now. That's the reason I had to do all this. I may have faith and believe. That requirement most people have. And also, I'm not alone on that. But religion, no, I'm not religious. I believe religion should be left to some of the research in the museum, where those findings will be kept there for memory, culture, in the same manner, for people to remember the age behind us, what happened, what they were doing, what the life they led that has led to us being what we are today, where we have come from, a research to look into the spiritual aspects. I mean, all these money should be diverted on that sense. But the idea of presenting and saying that you are giving to God, what does God need money for? Or what does God need from me? Someone who created the entire universe. He created everything that I am going to give him. Why would he need it from me? I mean, the strategy of some thief out there trying to get something from people and using threats and say that, give back what I have given you. If you gave me those things, why would you want something back? What do you want from me? That is the thing. What can you give God? To my definition of God, what can you give God to please God? And this trick is working so well that I want that help, not God. If you give me anything, I need that help. I'm coming to you to ask you for help. I come and ask you because I need that help. You give me that help. I am the person, the human being who need help, not God. If you gave me £1,000 or you gave me £1,000,000, you have given it to me. You have to get that to your test score that you've given it to me. You've not given it to God. That's the difference with what my approach is. Because it's the man who needs help, not God. God does not need help. He does not need your pennies. He doesn't need anything from you. You can't convince him with your money or anything. You have nothing to give him. You yourself, you belong to him. That is what the idea, that is what the presentation is about. So if you know this, why would you go the other way around and thinking that let's say you have to give something back of what you got. What have you got? Whatever you think you've got, the billions or whatever you got, it belongs to him. The day you take your life, everything belongs to him. Even if he hasn't taken your life, what he has given you is temporary for you to use, and you want to give him where are you going to give him? If only you can find his hands somewhere and give it to him. Oh yeah, I give you, go for it. But you can give it to him. Somebody standing in front of you wants to take something from you, and he's not honestly and truthfully coming to you to make the demand. He's using God to make the demand. Think about it. Now wake yourself. Those who know, they advise themselves. Those who do not know, they are being trapped into it. This is the friendly trap. Another friendly trap. Look into these things carefully. Now, am I saying this because I'm jealous or I don't get anything? Or what is there to jealous? Is it a difficult strategy to use, to do? No. But the truth here is that so many things are being wasted into the hands of those who devise means to get as much as they want to get. Nobody understands it. Trapping others into such a state that they get as much as they want. And they say if it's wrong, God would have stricken them. God has not stricken anybody. The terrorists with so much hate and strife